Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our live stream from the Northeast Coast Press, introducing Laurel S. Peterson. We are so excited about her forthcoming poetry collection, Charlene, and we're so excited for her reading this evening and to get to have an awesome conversation with her about this powerful and exciting poetry book. Well, yes, thank you so much for joining us. It's so wonderful to see so many friends already in the stream. My name is Catherine E. Schneider, and I am the editor-in-chief and publisher of the Northeast Coast Press. This summer, we are so excited to be announcing and introducing to you our first full season of poetry collections for winter 2027. Tonight, we are especially especially excited to introduce to you our next poet from the Winter 2027 lineup. As you know, that is Laurel S. Peterson. Welcome, Laurel.
Hi, Katie.
Hello. So we are so excited to introduce you to Laurel this evening, if you're not already a fan, and get to introduce to you her forthcoming poetry collection, Charlene. How are you doing this evening, Laurel?
I'm doing great. Katie, how are you?
I am fantastic. And for those of you out there who might not know, Laurel and I are good friends here in Norwalk, Connecticut. Laurel S. Peterson was the first poet laureate of Norwalk, Connecticut. I'm currently the third poet laureate, and we have, woo! So, really proudly representing the poetry scene here in Norwalk, and excited to see our friends in our community and beyond in the crowd tonight. And so it is an incredible honor to be entrusted with this awesome manuscript in this really unique persona approach, which I'm so excited that you'll be introduced to tonight. So without further ado, let me introduce Laurel with her bio. Laurel S. Peterson is a community college English professor. She has written the column for Gannett Suburban Newspapers on local history and served as editor of the literary journal Inkwell. Her poetry has been published in many small literary journals. She has published 3 poetry chapbooks, That's the Way the Music Sounds, and The Sky Weeps With Us, as well as Talking to the Mirror. She co-edited an essay collection, Reinterpretations, The Shapes of Justice in Women's Experience. She has written 2 mystery novels, Shadow Notes and The Fallen, and 2 full-length poetry collections, Do You Expect Your Art to Answer? And Daughter of Sky. As you already know, she served as the town of Norwalk, Connecticut's Poet Laureate from April 2016 to April 2019, and currently serves on its library board. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram and Substack. Make sure to give her a follow at laurelpeterson.substack.com. We're so excited to hear from you, Laurel. Take it away.
Hey, Katie and everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And Katie, I'm really delighted to be here and to be published by the Northeast Coast. So, all right. So Charlene has some attitude, and the collection sort of navigates the arc of a woman's life. So in this particular poem, she is young and trying to figure out the workplace and also to make art. The poem is an ekphrastic poem. It's based on a photograph by Alfred Stieglitz of Georgia O'Keeffe, which is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. So Georgia O'Keeffe. It's been 100 years since those iconic hands pulled her collar around her chin, dark eyes staring away from Stieglitz. When Charlene was 25, she bought a book of O'Keeffe's letters, read them on the flight home from LA, hoping to learn how to be a woman. O'Keeffe might have been the same age then Charlene is now, but Charlene works as an adjunct, department chair, hands on her butt, and when her married boss wants to take her for martinis, she knows she still has to pay the rent. The head of HR is his friend, and even a trailer in Abiquiu is 60 grand. Sometimes Charlene wonders where the new Abiquiu might be. Honduras? One of the stands, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. She bet she could get a stone hut for cheap, walk the sheep-studded hillsides in search of poems. But she's got no Stieglitz back in New York championing her. She'd end up writing poems in the cold, dark eyes staring across the empty steppe, hands frostbite white against the black wool blanket she pulls close around her throat. The collection contains a number of poems based on fairy tales. And so Charlene, as well as being a persona, also steps into personas. And this particular poem is based on the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel. Charlene tells a fairy tale, Gingerbread Queen. I wait in this little house, in this flowery wood, with my grape sky for children. My flowers smell sugary as caramel cookies, spicy like ginger and pepper. Their colors warm the skin like a lit stove on a winter's night. Come walk my sweet winding path. Notice my curtains, parted and welcoming. I haven't yet turned on the oven. I'm waiting for you. Women take care of a lot of other people, both physically and emotionally, and sometimes they need a little care themselves. So this is titled Self-Care. Charlene decides some weeks she could splurge on someone's hands kneading the knots from her back, or take a swim as the moon glows up over the horizon. Allow herself to heed the trees rocking gently in the breeze. Nothing bad would happen if she uncurled her fists for a while, stopped pressing at the boulder of the future, even walked around it to enjoy the view from the other side. Charlene has a conflicted relationship with religion, as many of us do, I think. And this poem tackles that. On her knees. Charlene's pretty sure she doesn't believe in God, but the moment she skids on black ice, or her house goes up for sale, or her best friend gets leukemia, she's begging the wide black universe for mercy. Animal brain presses her down. She feels the light dimming, contracting to a pinpoint like a pupil, even as she feeds the flame with breath. She's sure we can't help ourselves, even free falling into the abyss. Our fingers clutch at cliff edges of air. So when something makes you anxious, one way to handle it is to make fun of it. So a lot of these poems use humor to try to tackle things that feel kind of overwhelming. So this is titled What Charlene Imagines When You Die. A room, sort of like the arrivals hall at JFK on a weekday morning at about 7, when all the trans-Pacific flights arrive at once and the crowd bunches like last night's dinner moving from stomach through intestines and into colon, where first one negotiates questions and documentation and impenetrable machines, and finally someone unsmiling asks if you've done all your paperwork, paid your parking tickets, taxes, and dues, if you've avoided jaywalking and fattening your children like Hansel and Gretel's witch, then maybe you'll be expelled from this life into the damp emptiness of eternity. Or not. Because there's always the option of a small closed room and a couple of officers in uniforms that stink as though they've been working back-to-back 12-hour shifts, and a large German shepherd who sits by your knee panting, and those grubby hands examining the underwear you packed last night in Auckland after the only shower you'd taken in 6 days. Disgust etches itself between his eyebrows in parallel lines, and you know the next step is hell. Or not. Because there's always the possibility that way back in that place, before the line starts, where you fell off the zip line and broke your neck, or ate just one more cream-filled donut, or performed one last backflip into the pool, someone will step in and shock you back to life, shove you out of line, escort you to the taxi rank, tell you to behave and get it together. And what were you thinking? And joy of all joys, let you ride back into the smelly, living heaven of whatever is left of your life. So I've tried to end my last couple of collections, some of them that have been quite dark, with gratitude, because I'm pretty grateful to still be here. And I hope to leave that as a message with you as well. So for my final poem tonight, Ruination and Glory Alike. Charlene felt herself tip over from middle to late age, like water flowing from a pitcher into a tiny cup. Somewhere in there floated all her molecules, her blood and thoughts and prickly electric pains, but none of it mattered much anymore beyond the thrush song at 5 a.m. and the taste of peppery arugula from her garden. The world continued day by day, the sun rising on ruination and glory alike, the taste of coffee still bitter, the air moist or crisp. Diligently, she recycled and composted, weeded, put out birdseed, swept the deck. Maybe it didn't matter, but the moments were like drops of water in which one could see the whole world reflected, and she wanted to swallow every one. Thank you.
Gorgeous, Laurel.
Thank you, Katie.
So lovely. I'm giving you all the applause you can't hear from the audience right
All
now,
good.
and in the future for people watching, catching the replay. Just gorgeous, Laurel. Just gorgeous. Powerful, humorous, so real, and kind of diving into these kind of awkward and uncomfortable little moments, like the airport, like your digestive system.
It's so apt, right? Have you been in
perfect.
JFK? If it's like, it's disgusting.
No,
everything smells bad. Sorry.
No, totally. And the imagery of Hansel and Gretel, the imagery of women in these different moments, of women getting older, and these different internal thoughts, and expressing them through the persona of Charlene, and kind of being given permission to face them, to share them, to speak to them boldly, or in a funnier way than you might kind of in your own self. But as we have in the announcement video, alter ego or secret self, what is the difference, right? And I think that's something that is so cool about this collection, is that it really is diving into, kind of unafraid, this internal world, these experiences that span different decades, different moments of your experience as a woman, and sort of the female experience in our society. And I think it is powerful and important and funny and poignant in all of these special ways. But I'm going to stop gushing so that I can ask you some great questions. Anyhow, Laurel, thank you so much for that lovely reading. At what point in your life did you realize poetry wasn't just something you loved to read, it was something you needed to write?
So I'm not sure I can separate those two things.
I love it.
I always loved to read, and I loved stories. My mother read me stories from the very beginning. And I remember being really upset that I wasn't going to get to learn to read in kindergarten.
I love that.
Oh, come on. That was so unfair. I don't remember writing much until I hit junior high. And at that point, as many of us experienced, there was some bullying involved. And so I got revenge on my bullies by writing a story about them, in which I, of course, was victorious. At least on the page. I made the mistake of leaving the notebook on the kitchen table. Why do we do these things? and my parents found it and read it. Perhaps, maybe some part of me was hoping that maybe they would see what was happening and provide some sympathy or emotional support.
Yeah.
Instead, I was informed that I should never write anything like that ever again.
Oh, wow.
So you can see how that turned out.
Right. So we have maybe the birth of Charlene very early as a way to say these things.
That's right.
We're finding the root of it.
That's right. And then the other thing I was thinking about in answer to that question was that we were at a Lyle Lovett concert last week in New Haven, and he commented, I love this, that he wrote one of his songs because a certain type of person needed making fun of. Isn't that great? I just love that. So writing for me has always, especially in the mystery novels, but here too, has always had like this little bit of revenge against the world in it for me.
Sweet. Laurel, I love that. And having heard you read and share your poems in person and knowing, more of the poems that are within this collection, I can totally see that. You're capturing these characters who you're like, oh, I need to say something about this. And it's also kind of putting it into that persona where you can say it. Like the poem gives you the space to say exactly what you want to say. Right. And I think that's so beautiful, and that's such a special thing about poetry, that it's your way of kind of making your boldest, sassiest, revenge-filled statement.
But I love that. Me. I don't feel that
it's
way.
Not you.
Holy Charlene.
It's Charlene. So good. Oh my God, so good. So I have to get into this next question. The first time I heard you share a Charlene poem, I have to tell our audience this. It was at an outdoor arts festival, a poetry reading there, and mid-reading, you said, all right, these are poems written from my alter ego, Charlene, and you put on a hat and you just dove in, and I was captivated. So the next question is, what first inspired you to create and explore this different persona or alter ego in your poems? What did writing through that voice allow you to do that you couldn't have done otherwise? We've already mentioned this, but tell us more.
A little bit, yeah. I like playing around with personas because they communicate different ideas about people and let us explore, as writers, other points of view, right, that we might not otherwise do. So in my first full-time job, I worked with this really lovely woman who had a New York accent. I tried to imitate it today with one of my friends, and she was like, what is that?
She was like, no.
No, it's Long Island. So clearly I don't have the accent down. But, she became the basis for Charlene. And, there's a stereotype attached to accents. And I think that sometimes we miss the subtler meanings that are embedded in the language itself because we're thinking about the stereotype rather than the person. So like the Italian mobster or James Bond's Queen's English, right? Or the American Southern drawl. Right. All come to mind. Mm-hmm. So my colleague from way back then, man, she said it like it was. And I didn't think that Laurel could express all of those things.
I see.
Without people being totally horrified, I figured that Charlene could. And so she gave me permission. And it's really freeing to give yourself permission, right? To say what you need to say. So
I love that.
Persona does.
I absolutely, I love that. I think that is so interesting and important. And I think that writing, whether it's poetry or even prose, not that I can speak too much to that myself, but it does allow you to step into other characters, other people, and explore humanity through other voices, and even explore your own feelings in a way that you might not be able to if you're just like, oh, this is Katie having to be Katie, or Laurel having to be Laurel. I think that is a gift that writing gives to us, and it's so cool to see you explore that in this collection. As you wrote these poems, what images, themes, or obsessions kept resurfacing and ultimately shaped the collection?
The idea of freedom, first and foremost. Freedom from what the world perceives women as,
Right.
You know, what we should be, how we should do, what we should do, how we should dress, how we should look, how we should act, how we should
Right.
interact with others,
Yep.
how we should be nice all the time,
Yep.
non-confrontational. And as we age, how we shouldn't get wrinkles or sag or get tired or cranky.
Right.
There is this beautiful scene in the show Grace and Frankie.
I love that show.
Jane Fonda. Yeah. Have you seen this? She takes off her wig, and then the tape that she uses to tighten
to pull her face back. Yep.
Yeah. Her makeup, her fake eyelashes, she peels them off. We get to see this process. And then what's left is this still beautiful woman, but without all the trappings, right? Of what society has put on her. And so, I mean, I love that scene. And I think that it's so sort of at the heart of what I'm trying to do.
I love that. Yes, I see that.
Yeah. So I think the collection sort of documents those demands, and Charlene's either resistance to them or acceptance of them, her attempt to kind of work out where she stands in relation to them. And I think, to go back to your, your comments about audience, I think that it's not just for women. I think everybody has to do that, whether you're male or female or trans or bi or whatever you are, right? We all have to kind of confront those issues and figure out
1000%. Right. Yeah. Who really am I underneath this surface that I'm presenting to the world, and what can I see in that, you know, how can I value that? How can I be honest about that, and not be afraid of the beauty that's there, even if it's not the, you know, the societal ideal or standard or any kind of just misogynistic nonsense or bigoted nonsense or something that's built to pressure us into purchasing something to change our appearance or who we are.
Right.
I love that. When did you realize you didn't just have a group of Charlene poems, you had a book? Because you've been writing Charlene poems for a long time.
I have. So my dear friend Carol Randall, who died of pancreatic cancer about a little over a year ago,
I'm so sorry,
told me I had a book. What's that?
I know, I just said I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you. She was a special person. And she kept bugging me to write more Charlene poems. And then when I had enough, she was like, get that book out into the world.
I love that.
She had a piece of Charlene in her. You know, if you ask her for advice, be prepared. She was never going to let you off the hook. But you came away with an honest perspective and really good advice. And I just really miss her. So the book is for her. And I wish she was here to see that I followed her advice.
Well, I think, you know, if there's any way that that she from beyond can be smiling down, I'm sure that she is. And I think it is an extra level of honor that we get to be bringing Charlene into the world and recognizing her contribution to that. I think that is so beautiful, and I'm so happy that we'll get to do this together. And on sale in January 2027. Will officially be out in the world. Speaking of which, what are you most excited for readers to experience when the book arrives in January 2027?
Well, I think it's a lot of the things that I've already said. You know, I hope that it resonates with people and that they read the poems and find themselves in them.
Yes.
You know, at its best, I think poetry opens up experience for us and allows us to see ourselves in the world and the world in us. And so that's what I hope my readers will find. I hope they'll find a little piece of themselves here and go, oh yeah, my life is like that too. Thank God. Somebody else is out there doing it with me.
1,000%, Laurel, and I just love that. And honestly, I hope that people will be inspired to dive more into persona poems, to get into their alter ego, explore that a little bit. And you know, I think it's a great collection for encouraging people to connect exactly as you said, and also to, you know, to explore these these sides of themselves with honesty. I think that is so beautiful. Well, Laurel, it has been an absolute delight having you this evening. Let me give you one more round of applause.
Aw, thank you. It's been great to be here. Thanks for putting this together. I really appreciate it. Thanks for publishing
Absolutely.
Charlene. I'm glad she's going to be out in the world under your imprint. That's
Oh,
great.
yes. Oh, God. I am so proud. I am so excited. And there are so many wonderful things that all of you out there can be following as we proceed towards January 2027. We will have different events coming up. We'll have a pre-order reading coming up in October, and we will have a big launch event down in New York City that we're very excited about. Please follow Laurel this way. Follow Laurel on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. Follow her Substack. She is going to be sharing a bit more about Charlene over there. And of course, on our social media as well. We're going to be having a lot of fun sharing more about these books, revealing the covers in the fall. So make sure that you're following the Northeast Coast and make sure you're signed up for the mailing list as well. Thank you so much once again for joining us this evening, Laurel. It was beautiful.
Thank you for having me. It's been a delight.
Yes, and thank you once again to everyone. Have an amazing night.